So this week the cycle of Avos is restarting. So back to first parak, which is great because it's first parak, the opening words. It's in Shavuos, right? Moshe kibol Torah Mesina, Masur Yeshua, Yeshua is Canaan, Nevi'im, Masur Lan Shekinah Sagdol. Fine. I always had a problem with this line, and I was just thinking about it again. Why is it here? I understand if you read the Rambam, the Parish Mishnayos, he explains in depth why every single Masechta goes in its place. Avos goes right after the Sanhedrin because it's like it's telling you how judges should act, and he even says in the beginning that brachos. Why is brachos the first? Because you should know how to, or Zeraim the first because you should know how to work the land, so that you can work the land and serve Hashem. Otherwise, you don't have food. You don't have in Kemach Torah. This is Pirkos. But it doesn't explain why the Masorah is here. Meaning, you put the Masorah at the beginning of all the Mishnayos. It should go in the beginning of Zeraim. It should go the first Mishnah Brachos should begin Moshe kibol Torah Yeshua. It should begin like that. Why is it here? And why would having the I already accept all these chachamim. Why would I need to have additional proof these chachamim are great and they come from the Masorah? Why redo the Masorah here and go in order like Pirkei Avos does? Could have been another way. I think first of all we can explain why the Shalshels doesn't have to Shalshels HaKabbalah actually doesn't have to be placed in the Mishnayos at all. I think you can first explain like that. Which the reason for that is, I think, fairly obvious. First, you have to have learned Tanakh before you learn Mishnah. That's the order of learning. You learn Tanakh first, and Tanakh ends with the Ksuvim. The Ksuvim ends with Ezra and the Anshe Knesset Hagadola. Right? That's where it ends. So if you count the amount of generations from Shimon HaTzadik, who's the last of the Anshe Knesset Hagadola, to Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, it's 13 generations. And it's not just like generations that like everyone's moving around. It's like the same base medrash. It's like the same Nasi passing it down to the next Nasi after him, and the Av Beis Din passing it the same way. The Zugos all the way up until recently before him. The Nasi is in the same place in Eretz Yisrael, precisely where the Anshe Knesset Hagadola were. So I think it's not that crazy that if you went to someone in Rabbi Nasi's time and said, "Do you think this guy got the Masorah from Anshe Knesset Hagadola?" You probably say, yeah, I mean, it's the same base medrash. He's learning the same thing. Like, he like somehow changed everything and like making up his own parish now. Like you don't need Shalshels HaKabbalah because it's already explained in Tanakh, really. If you just read Tanakh, it seems to go in a logical order and it ends with Ezra. And then after Ezra, it's in like not living memory, but it's close enough that it's not that ridiculous to say. So it doesn't have to say it at all. Okay, then this question is, why is it in the Mishnah? Why is it in the Mishnah at all? Why is it in the beginning of Avos? So, I think if you read for instance, if you read all the Pirushim Mishnayos to this first Mishnah, they all seem to tell you, it was necessary to say the Masorah so that you should know that you should trust this Rav over another Rav, and that all their Rebbeim's statements come from Hashem. But I didn't fully get what they were getting at until I read the Yachin. He explains, ordinarily, la'achim askil in Torah, ein Torah, ein derech eretz, v'chol mishem, eino mamin, b'Torah sakdosha, v'izgalas elokah, shuv eino mamin, gamkein she'ashgichu alav amidosav, v'chol atov she'aset hu lihispire. Is that all the good that you do is only going to be to glorify yourself. All these like moral, if you're acting moral and you don't believe in the Torah, and you don't believe in Hashem, and you don't believe that it came from Hashem, it's just lispar, you're like aggrandizing yourself. Oh, mechulashes tivo, it's because your weakness of your soul. You see, you like pity someone. You have like, how they say mirror neurons. You like see someone else in pain, and it pains you. It's just like a biological thing. And all the evil that you don't do, he says, miras onish, because you're just like in fear of being punished. It's like someone wearing a mask. You're like someone who's like pretends like they're acting morally, but really they're just like following base instinct. And Pirkei Avos tells us that this world in which we have to act morally is the I don't remember the Aramaic word, so I'll use the weird English word antechamber to the Olam Haba, which is the main room. So you have to prepare ourselves. Everything is an avoda. Everything in this world is an avoda. Today's the art of the Bartenura. So really quickly, the Bartenura says this Masechta is not founded on the drashos of Chazal when it comes to mitzvos. There's nothing here is mitzvos per se. So what was the reason to put the Masorah here? the Missouri here to tell you that even though this doesn't come from explicit words in the Torah, it's not coming from the halachos that you might have seen in the Torah if you read Tanakh, it's still just as Torah Misinai as all those other halachos. Everything here, nothing here was fabricated. And you might have thought to say, because it's moral stuff, and moral stuff other people have fabricated. Everyone has their own moral system. So this just, Chazal came up with it. Yeah, maybe they based it a little bit on the Torah. No, it came directly from Shemaim. Every single Maimer Chazal in Pirkei Avos came from Moshe Sinai and was passed down. And when Rebbe compiled Avos, he foresaw that this was going to be a problem, that people would try to say, this is like an ethical book, like we're always trying to be ethical. It's just a moral thing. Rebbe made sure that everyone knew this is worth nothing. This is worth nothing if you don't believe in Hashem and you don't believe this came from Hashem. Otherwise, just like any other moral system, I could have made it up. Doesn't have to be. But because it comes from Shemayim, only because it comes from Shemayim is it worth anything. And otherwise, you're just wearing a mask of Avodas Hashem. You're just self-aggrandizing. You're just doing things out of pity. You're just doing things to avoid Onesh. So when we start Avos this week in Yirtzeh Hashem, we should understand that the first mission is really the most important one. That it's all about Avodas Hashem. This all comes from Hashem. It's all Torah Hashem. And through that, we can transform our actions, which are Bein Adam Lechavero, to also Bein Adam Lamakom, and we should be Zoche from that to see Mashiach. Tzidkeinu b'mehera b'yameinu.